What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Redriveraviation. Hope you guys are in fantastic day today. And today we have the Denver International Airport all you need to know video for you guys. I really hope you guys are excited for today's video, and without any further delay, let's get started. Alrighty everybody, so today we're going to be taking a look at Denver International Airport and assessing the airport as a whole. I really hope you guys are excited for today's video, as I am super excited to make this, as Denver International Airport is one of my favorite airports out there, and I'm really excited to take a look and see what it's all about. So we're going to be assessing various elements today, including the infrastructure of the airport, how to get around as a passenger, some fun facts, and many other moving pieces as well. I also want to say that I will be doing a full Denver International Airport plane spotting video, and if you'd like to see that, that'll be coming out very soon, so definitely be on the lookout for that. But let's get started, everybody. Denver International Airport is a really cool airport. As the name implies, this serves the Denver, Colorado area, which is one of the biggest airports in the United States. By the article that I'm reading here from the Mayflower IMO, excuse me, sorry, that was kind of a tongue twister. It said that it was the third busiest airport, which is absolutely crazy. Denver is huge, as it covers 53 square miles or 34,000 acres, which is huge. That's bigger than cities like Manhattan, San Francisco, Boston, Miami, the full downtown area, I'm assuming is what they're getting at there. So really cool to see that, and it's certainly one of the biggest airports, excuse me, in terms of acres in the world, really, to be honest, because the runways are so spread out, and it's a big area, and I'm sure they have expansion on the horizon as well that they're thinking about too at some point. So really cool to get to see that, and really cool to see that Denver has that much room to expand. But obviously Denver is one of the biggest cities in the United States, serving a huge area. I'm sure it's probably like top 15 in population or something like that, but certainly a huge airport and tons of voids to fill, to say the least. So what we're going to be taking a look at here today is taking a look at various pictures that I captured when I was there on June 25th 2022, and there's many moving pieces here. I took many great pictures and videos, so we're going to take a look at all of these and really assess the airport, predominantly the infrastructure, but we'll also talk about some fun facts, like I said, and just some various pieces in general. So like I said, I hope you guys are excited for this, and without any further delay, let's get started. This is the first picture that I took. I came on a United Airlines flight, and I wanted to go do some plane spotting at the Terminal C patio area, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in detail here in a moment. But this is a nice overlook here of kind of one of the first elements you'll see at Denver, especially if you're deplaning and heading over to the baggage claim, is this area. So Denver has 3 concourses, A, B, and C, or terminals, whichever phrase you'd like to use there, and they're all connected, similar to Atlanta, if you guys know that airport and saw the tour video I did several years ago at this point, probably 4 or 5 years ago. They have an underground chain that connects you from terminal to terminal, which I think is really cool in a very innovative way. So here's a picture of that and what that looks like. So that was certainly nice, and this was for the Terminal B area. Like I said, they have some really nice moving pieces there in general. That's really cool. This is a really nice picture here leading up. I believe this was in Terminal B, if I'm not mistaken. I could be completely wrong on that, but as you can see, this really is a great picture to describe the infrastructure here at DIA. You can see various moving pieces here, including some escalators here in the middle. You got some more rising escalators, excuse me, over there in the middle. Then you got a whole upper area, which Denver is very unique in terms of how they set up the airport. They have multiple sectors of the terminals where they have double floors, which is really nice and very helpful to get more restaurants, shops, all kinds of those items in here, which is very cool, or amenities would be a better word there. So many moving pieces, and as you can tell, it's nice and spaced out for the most part. There are some areas of the terminal, especially the inner part of Terminal B, that can certainly get very crowded at times, but luckily with the most recent expansions, there's certainly plenty of room to get around at DIA, which is super helpful. The next picture that we're assessing here is going to be this picture, and I believe that there was a really cool Boston greetings from sign right here, which is really cool to see. Some sort of baseball or basketball event, maybe sports in general. I'm not particularly sure, but it looks pretty unique to me because I thought they would have had Boston service for sure at this point. So I hope that it didn't just launch, because that was certainly you would think they would already have it. But yeah, that was certainly a cool sign, so I thought I'd take a picture of it there. It's pretty unique to say the least. And then the next picture I have here, this is a really nice picture here showing off what Terminal B looks like. Pretty much the airport is in 2 main sectors for the infrastructure, and just in general how the airport's set up by the terminals. So pretty much you have everything that has been there since the airport was constructed in, I believe, 1994, I think. I'm taking an assumption there, but I'm pretty sure that's when this airport was built. So you have all of that, which is pretty much showing the age. And then you have the newer areas, as we'll take a look at here in a minute. This is the older area, so we're starting off with the worst, if you know what I'm saying here. And you can certainly see there's still enough room, but it still seems kind of crowded. You can see that the airport was designed with that kind of mid, not quite the low mid West airport feel, but also not the, you know, big open area like you're seeing nowadays. So nice hybrid there for sure. You got some I don't know what the proper term for these moving ways would be, but you have those here in the middle. Some older signage, as you can see throughout here. You also got some newer amenities that have probably been added throughout the most recent times, excuse me, with plenty of monitors there to show your flight information, advertisements there in the middle as well, and all those different amenities too. But for the most part, I would assume that this is predominantly untouched. So we'll take a look at the video clip, and that'll give us a little bit more detail here on what it looks like in moving pieces.
Phenomenal infrastructure at Denver. Santa Barbara 319. San Jose, Sacramento, Orange County.
Alrighty guys, so we're going to hop into some more pictures here, and I'm also going to give you guys some more fun facts because there's some really interesting facts about Denver International Airport, including a really random one, but these are the kind of small details that's really hard to think about in context, especially with all the moving pieces in today's world. The Denver International Airport monthly water bill is typically $115,000 or $115,000. Yes, that's a bunch of money for water. That is crazy to think about. And I'm sure with, you know, all the restroom facilities and all the other places where they need to use water, that's pretty typical. So that's really crazy to think about. But when you really put it into context, it makes sense for all these restrooms and other amenities that require water to be utilized, sinks, you know, everything in between. So water fountains as well. So there's so many different moving pieces there as well. Let's see here. Another really cool fact about Denver that I would like to mention at this time is that the wildlife management program is keeping the ground safe for planes to land, which is super cool because obviously in that region there near the mountains, you're gonna have various animals. And in fact, on an upcoming Denver trip that we'll talk about here in the near future a little bit, and I'll talk about it a little bit at the end of this video, I saw a bunny rabbit on the apron, which was pretty crazy. So that was really cool. But how about that? But really appreciate the wildlife management there to keep to attract birds and some smaller mammals like jackrabbits, ironically, that can make their way into the grounds attaching to predator birds. So that's certainly helpful. And like I said, for a region like this, that's in a very interesting spot for the United States for that airport at 5,300 feet. Certainly the most elevated popular airport for sure. Those are really helpful. All right, let's get into some of these planes. So here's a picture of November Charlie 205 Yankee. I'm going to see if I can pull this up real quick. Excuse the keyboard excess there, but I want to see if I can find any details on this aircraft. Okay, this is a Alexander Eagle Rock Model A4 aircraft. So this was put into the Denver International Airport. This was a 1930s built aircraft. You know, really going back to the prop era here of aviation. Really cool to see that Denver is supporting all aviation related items here for their airport and events in time. So that's really cool to see. Of course, this is in Terminal B if you're looking for it at Denver. I believe it's on the south side. I think it's on the south side, but I could be wrong on that. I'm sorry, no, that's not the way that the terminals go. I believe it's on the, I want to say it's on the west side. It's east or west, I can't remember, I'm sorry. I'm thinking it's on the west side, Terminal B, but really cool to get to see this right here. I think it's a really cool aircraft. I'm certainly glad to see Denver getting to utilize that right there. That's super cool, and you really see the infrastructure here. Okay, here's the second sector. So this kind of takes us into a little bit of a hybrid era right here. So this is in Terminal B. You can see here we have a mix of some newer signage, but also the older terminal layout. So really not that bad for a 1995 built airport. You'll see many airports, especially that were built, you know, in the 60s and 70s, that have these really low ceilings, not much space. Not really minded of that because really back when aviation was getting going there during that time, the jet age, I would say, you just pulled up to your flight and you were pretty much ready to board. It wasn't one of those that you needed to show up before check-in. You bought your ticket at the check-in counter. That's how it was. So space wasn't really a problem back then. I'm assuming there's many other factors that went into that as well. But now when you have people that need to, you know, sit somewhere, get some, you know, work done or whatever the case may be, it's a must. So, but still, this terminal I think did a really good job for its time. The yellow signage, by the way, is the newer stuff, and we'll see that a little bit more here in this next picture. But real quick on this picture, you can also see way down there is the new part of the terminal that we'll take a look at here in just a second. But really nice contrast, you can already kind of see it. This next picture, he gets us a little bit closer to that as well. Very similar elements here as we were talking about. I won't go into too much detail on this besides that you can see there in the back what the newer styles looking like. That picture is really bad, so I'll skip over that one. So let me take you guys over to this picture. So this is the next picture up right here. This is the brand new, pretty much, I think it was constructed a couple years ago at this point, 1 or 2 years ago. The newest part of Terminal B here and many other sectors of DIA. This is the Terminal B area here on the west side, I believe. It could be the east, but I think it's the west side. You see the mountains back there, I believe. So the west side of the concourse, and this really shows what modern architecture can do. You can see many moving pieces, including the signage is really nice. You have a really simple format with a display monitor that's really big. That's probably like 100 inches long there. That's really impressive. Then you have the gate number B12, really nice black on yellow outline. I think that looks really crisp. And you also have the destination on the bottom, which is Chicago O'Hare for B12 and many other destinations throughout here. I really appreciate the ceiling concept. I think that it's very adequate. As you can see, it's probably double the size of what we were looking at previously, which is super helpful. But then you also have some really nice elements in here, including a really big part in the middle that goes double the size of what the normal part is, which is very cool. And you also have plenty of windows. Studies have shown that natural light, sunlight particularly, can improve moods and also make people happier. So I really appreciate Denver integrating that element into their newest design, which has been very helpful for the airport, and I'm sure that it's really helped out people. And I surely was enjoying it when I was at Denver with those big windows, obviously for plane spotting, but I could tell that people around the area were really enjoying it, probably compared to the central part of the concourse. So that was really cool. You also have some other really great pieces of this terminal. You can see some really nice really big chairs, I guess what you can call those. They're in the central part of the concourse here. You can also see on the outsides, there's some work areas. So we have these really cool, kind of like stool seats. I don't know the best term for them, but wood seats that are elevated. And then you have these really nice tables that you can work on. They also have outlets, USBs, and all the amenities you'd hope for. And then a really clever idea on the end of them, you also have the recycling and trash amenities that one would want. So we'll get some more up-close pictures here of what an actual gate area looks like here in a moment. But in general, this is fantastic. And let's take a look at a video clip that really enforces that principle.
Really new part. This looks really good. I barely missed the 340. I'll get it taken off.
Alrighty guys, let's talk about a few more facts here, as there's some really cool ones like I was saying. So one really cool element of Denver International Airport is when the airport was built, like I said, I believe 1994, there was a time capsule that was put in for the date of 2094 that will be open. So it'll be really interesting to see what that's all about, but that's super cool to get to see. So that obviously, like I said, 100 years after the construction, so that's super cool. It's going to be very interesting to see what happened in 1994 and what they put in there. So that will certainly be very interesting there. The airport's roof is also covered by 10 white tents of fiberglass that are meant to represent the snow-capped mountains of Colorado. The tents also serve as a reminder of the early history of Colorado when Native Americans' teepees were spread across the plains. The roof is kept up by the airport's employees and contractors who are certified to the jobs, I can't say it. You guys know what I'm talking about, but I'll use particularly instead because that's a good substitute. I don't know why I can't roll that S syllable, but nevertheless, those are the really cool. Tent's really the best word to use, as you see there over there on the Jefferson Terminal. That's really cool to get to see that they're representing history in there. It's a really nice Easter egg. If you either know what it is or you don't. You'll appreciate looking at it, but if you don't know what it is, it's one of those. So I thought that was a super cool element, and I really enjoyed getting to see that. Now let's take a look at this picture. This is one of the several brand new patio areas at Denver International Airport. This is by far one of the coolest just airport infrastructure innovations in general. I mean, this is fantastic. Take a look at this. So let's take a look at this picture here. So this is obviously in the summertime. This is a really good time to be out here. I think it was 70 degrees, so really an ideal temperature out here. But as you can see, starting from left to right, you have big windows, obviously, like I was talking about previously, but then you have many places to sit down, including tables, which is really nice. So various chair items here. You also have a really nice fireplace area, which is very applicable for some of Colorado's colder weather. So that's really nice. And you also have a really nice bar area up there for anybody that thought it was applicable. So really cool to get to see that. And of course, and the best part as an aviation enthusiast is you get these huge windows overlooking the airport. So really nice. And the best part about it as a plane spotter myself is that there's multiple, so whichever time of day it may be, because Denver's runways are set up north to south, you can go to whichever patio you want, which is applicable for whichever lighting situation if it's sunny. Unfortunately on this day it was overcast, as you guys can see, but there'll be an upcoming Denver video that will be sunny and really put this principle to work. So but it was a great area, and let's take a look at this video to really go into detail about it. I mean, just some final narrated thoughts here. This is super cool. I really love it. You also got some trash cans out here, even some speakers as well, which I think were for the gate announcements, which is awesome. And I mean, the infrastructure is great. I can't complain, and it's really cool if you, as a general passenger, of course, if you just want to sit out here, hang out, watch planes, if you like to watch them with a casual leisure attitude, or however the case may be. It's a great area to hang out. As you can tell, many people were really enjoying it out there and having a great time. So let's take a look at this video clip. So yeah, Denver, like I said, was certainly really good in that element, but then we kind of go back to reality here with the middle concourse. We already assessed it pretty heavily, so I won't go into too much detail besides the fact that this part of the terminal I hope gets renovated at some point, but the current renovations have certainly made up for this. This next picture that we're taking a look here is a really nice close-up here of the illuminated gate signs here for gates B23 through B95. Again, very applicable here in general to really go into detail about how important signage is at airports. You know, it's really hard. Like if you go back to that previous picture, you can really see how hard it is to see the illuminated gate numbers, and that's not ideal in 2023, especially when people possibly could be in a scramble, or perhaps vision could be going bad for some people as well at older ages. It's really helpful to have these nice big signs to be able to tell what you're doing, and I'm sure it saves some people some connections. And in fact, when I was at Denver last time in January, I know this isn't really applicable for the day I was there for this video, but when I was there in January, there were some people that were probably not familiar with the airport, would be my best guess, but they were wondering where I think it was C-67 was, and they were going the wrong way, and I let them know that the gates are down on the other side, which I'm sure they appreciated. But the signage was fine there. I think it was just one of those deals that it's a great practical example that people do need signage to figure it out, and I'm sure they would have figured it out, of course, and hopefully had a decent connection time and all the different variables. But it really shows how important it is, and that's why I bring that example to y'all's attention, even though, like I said, most people may be able to find it easily. But it's one of those that signage can't hurt for sure. This is also a really cool picture here in Terminal B showing the infrastructure of the arch right here. I think that's a really cool design that they have going here, and there's another great example of the multiple layers, not layers, excuse me, floors that Denver provides. Also great to see a US flag up there in the corner. So just great in general, and great work by Denver, and we have some more video clips to take a look at, so let's take a look at those.
Alrighty guys, we're heading down to the train right now to go to Concourse C's east side to do some spotting. Yes, I did waste probably, I don't know, 15 minutes on that, but I did not think that it was going to be that quiet. I wish I had more time so I could memorize this stuff, but yes, let's go to Concourse C, and yes, we need the one that's going this way. So let's see which one it's going to be. This side goes that way. Let's take a look. Yes, so next train up on this side to the sea gates. ETA of 2 minutes.
I'm heading it out. I'm through TSA.
Alrighty guys, let's take a look at some more facts here. I kind of like putting these in here periodically because I think they're really cool, like I said. So let's take a look at some more of these. So another really cool fact about Denver is it is home to an impressive collection of arts and murals, which is really cool. One of the world's best, according to this article. DIA features a spectacular art program that works with the museum cultures and crosters, something like that, and art organizations to help them find more displays and the highest quality art throughout the airport. This is always helpful for people to look at. You know, personally, I really appreciate people's works in the creative fields like art, and I really enjoy getting to see all the really cool creations. My hometown airport, Tulsa, also does a version of this as well, which is very cool, and it's really nice before boarding a flight or coming home when I can go over to the waiting areas and get to see the art. So I'm sure people here hopefully appreciate that too, which is awesome. So let's take a look at some more facts as well. So the airport has 30 acres of parking lots and more than 44,255 particular for the particular number parking public parking spaces, which equals the length of 23 football fields. 30 acres is usually what 2 terminals would sit on for reference. So you're talking about 2 pretty big, probably 50-gate concourses sitting on what Denver has as parking lots. That's crazy. For reference, the Tulsa International Airport, I believe, has like 5,000 slots. So, I mean, that's crazy to think about, and it certainly shows the capacity that Denver can hold. And that's not even considering, you know, people that would Uber in, Lyft in, ride a taxi, or obviously I'm sure there's other family members that pick them up. So many different variables. So considering that many people park is just incredible to say the least. There's also some really cool statutes throughout Denver International Airport, including the Notre Denver, and also which is meant to protect and watch over the travelers to ensure the safe arrival of baggage. So that's a really cool little tradition there as well. And another one that you guys probably know about for sure, but might as well mention it. Some people call it DIA, some people call it DEN. Obviously, as you can tell, DIA came off a little bit easier than DEN, but you know, I think they're both fine, so that's certainly cool. And yeah, really cool because you don't hear like other airports that don't have the I there do that most often. Like you don't hear like LIA or something like that, you know, for LAX. You know, Denver is really unique in that way, so that's certainly very cool as well. So let's take a look at some more pictures here, guys. We have some really good ones. So here's a nice picture of what the train looks like. It gets the job done. I don't think that there's really any infrastructure improvements you could do here outside of maybe some new technology on those where it's showing what terminal you're at. Really no complaints there. I think that that looks good. So good job, Denver. They rode pretty well, whatever the term would be there. You know, they were moderately fast. I had no real issues. Big reminder of Atlanta, though. They were very similar, so that was certainly cool. On car number 19. Here's a really cool picture of the expansion that was currently taking place. This was done when I went back, so that was really cool. But obviously working on some new gates here, and this really shows how big the concourse can be. So Denver went for this very open design here in the Charlie concourse. Southwest predominantly parked here way back in the day, obviously, but now as of late, there's been some other airlines that have been moved over here. The most latest being American Airlines has moved over here to some of these gates. Also Spirit, Alaska, and I think there might be a couple others that park over here, but certainly cool to get to see that for sure, and really great just to see how this is coming along. But we have some completed gates that I'll show you guys here in this upcoming picture, which this one does a really good job, even though it's kind of fuzzy. Does a really good job showing off the various elements here. So here we are in the middle of the Charlie concourse, C52, C53, C54. You can see really cool elements here, including the seats, which are really nice and comfortable. So that was honestly kind of more comfortable than some airline seats, I'll be completely honest there. Really appreciate the windows, like I said, in the big displays, so you can see what's going on. So that was certainly very nice. I really appreciated that. Some really nice elements here, and really nice and open as well, which I very much appreciate, as it can certainly get crowded in airports, and that happens way too fast. O'Hare. But anyways, moving on to our next picture as well. Sorry that's a little bit fuzzy, but this one really shows the nice architecture here, and I also really appreciate the variety that the open area provides here. So as you can see on the right side, you have plenty of those work areas I was previously referencing, so that was really cool. And over on the left side, you have various chair designs, very similar to the patio in terms of the variety there. I see some different designs there, including some bigger ones, some smaller ones, some airport-like chairs, and some more comfortable sitting chairs. So big thumbs up, Denver. That was really nice. I really appreciate that effort. That was fantastic. This next picture shows a huge flight board display. I think that for, you know, to see it visually, it's a little bit easier if it's on a wall like this rather than hung on the ceiling. That's my personal preference, but let me know what you guys think about that. But you can certainly see some various moving pieces here, including all the flights here, predominantly Southwest, but looks like all United flights also are on here, so pretty much the whole airport, which is pretty impressive as well. But you also have some really helpful notes over there with the question, text number, and baggage claims, all that. That's really cool. So really nice to get to see that, and also tells you where the gates are. Like I was saying, that's always helpful. Unfortunately, the Turnable Sea patio was still getting wrapped up in its construction, which was very, you know, it kind of sucked, but I was able to make it work because there was another really good area. I'll show you guys here more in the video clips. But yeah, the patio was getting wrapped up. Luckily, I was able to go out there on my latest trip. I keep referencing that because it was very applicable. But yeah, they were wrapping that up, so no problems there. It worked out fine. But yeah, I was really glad to get to see them making some significant progress on that, and it was really cool to see. So let's take a look at this video clip, and then we will hop into some more infrastructure talk. Alrighty guys, so let's take a look at some more pictures here after a couple more fun facts because there's some really good ones. So the couple of last facts that I have right here, which is really nice, is that the statue Mustang weighs at 9,000 pounds, which is absolutely crazy to think about, and that it has to have a full team of professionals to touch up the paint when it goes bad, so that's crazy. There's also LED bulbs in the eyes, which is really cool for lights, and it also has to be checked for cracks and chips caused by the elements. So really cool to think about that, but little details that you don't think about that are super cool here at Denver International Airport. We also see that there are a total, at least when this was posted, of 67 restaurants located in Denver International Airport, and there's probably been more since then, so that's really cool. And the final big fact here is that the airport was expected to be $1.7 billion to construct, but the final price tag ended up being $4.8 million, and I think that etched a multi-million there really helped. But that was really because of underground tunnels and bunkers that were not expected to have to be built. So absolutely crazy to think about. Let's hop into some more pictures because we had some really good ones. So you'll see some more of this in the plane spotting video, but we had some really cool airplane catches here, including a Denver Air Connect Embraer J-145. They operate out of Terminal C as well, and it's really cool to see how much they've progressed as of late, so that's certainly very cool. Here's a really nice picture to demonstrate the really nice seating area here over at the east side of Terminal C. You can see how nice the seats are. There was plenty of room for my items as well, and really nice area to watch the planes if you'd like to. I obviously plane spotted it because yes, but also just in general, you know, there's various elements to get to utilize. I decided to take a selfie here with the area because I thought it looked really cool, but really nice to get to see the infrastructure as well here at Charlie 66. Certainly a special gate because this is where I do all my plane spotting out at Denver when I'm terminal spotting, of course, the 2 times I have as of late, but certainly really cool, and you can see how nice the infrastructure here is on Denver. It looks fantastic, really good. And then over here, you have a really nice picture here of various airplanes. Denver Air Connect had an Embraer 145, and then the really cool Donier 328x2. First time getting to see that, so that was very cool for a new aircraft type for me. Also, the Embraer 145, they are currently, I think, leasing. I believe it's a lease. I could be wrong on that, but that aircraft is also there in the back, the blue and red Embraer 145, and there's also United Max 9 out there waiting in the distance, so certainly a cool picture with various elements here as well. I also got to catch this really cool Iceland Air Boeing 757-200 in the Hecla Royal livery, so much so that I had to take a picture on my phone from the camera. That was really cool, and we'll be assessing that more in the plane spotting video coming up very shortly. Here's another really good picture here, taking a look at Denver in general. You can really see how the it goes from big area with gates to underneath area with still a pretty high ceiling. They also have some really cool like get and go food options in the middle there, and various amenities as well, and really probably like 100 different types of seats. You can see so many different seat options, so if you're looking for something particular, they probably have it, which is a really cool element here at DIA. Here's another close-up one. You can see different seats. We got tables in the middle there. Like I was saying, you got the get and go food options, and they had some really good restaurant options. They were mainly close together, which I wish they would have been a little bit more spread out, but it makes sense in this connotation, and I can't complain too much. Really there in where the train is, where you get off of it and onto it, is really where the big restaurants are. So if you're looking for the big restaurants at DIA, that's typically where you'll find them, but that's not to say that there's not restaurants that are outliers, and obviously out here way on the ends of the terminal, because obviously these are set up as rectangles. I also want to mention, since it's on my mind, I didn't get to do much at terminal A, so I apologize about that, but I'm going to assume that it's pretty similar to B in terms that the middle is probably dated. When I was there, when I flew American, I really can't remember it, to be honest with you, but I think I remember it being pretty dated there in the middle, so I'm assuming the expansion part's really good, and the middle has probably been touched up over the years. Here's another very good picture, kind of similar to one we had previously, but this shows off some good detail. Everything here is like the previous pictures at this point, which is nice, and we'll check that out more in an upcoming Denver video, because I'll probably make another one for the second day I was there, and we'll talk about that more here in just a second. And here's a really cool plane that's in the middle of the terminal C. I think it was C. I'm pretty sure it was C area right here. I think it's like a Learjet 31 or something along those lines. This is really cool to get to see here in the middle. I thought that was fantastic, and they did a really good job. You also see the plants down there as well, which is really cool to get to see in that area, so that was really nice. This could be B, but I thought it was C, but really cool to get to see this, and I thought that was fantastic. So really cool to get to see that right there, and the infrastructure of how big the middle part is certainly very cool, to say the least. Here's a really nice picture of how crowded it can get over here at Terminal C. This one I was going back to board my United Airlines flight, which was pretty bittersweet, to be honest, but I'm glad I got to go back. I would like to go back today, but nevertheless, really cool to get to see how this works. And yeah, nice. Obviously the floor looks really good, and not too many other main details there, but it, gets the job done 100%. It looks great, so good job there. This is a very bad picture, but this is what it looks like in Terminal B for the arrival board. Again, looks good. Can't complain with it too much. I like the leveling there, and you can get up close to it if you need to see it a little bit better, and all the other details. The final picture that I have for you guys today is the United Airlines Club, as there are many of these here at Denver International Airport, of course being one of the biggest United hubs in the network. You can have plenty of time here if you choose. I think there might be another club for another airline. It's not coming to my mind immediately, but I think United has one or two in Terminal B, so that is certainly helpful and really nice, to say the least, right there. So yeah, I don't think there's any other video clips. If so, I'll put them in right here, but I believe we knocked it all out for June 25th, 2022. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video assessing Denver. There's some really cool elements to it, and yeah, the newer part of the terminals look really great, and I thought it deserved a whole video to really talk about the airport. It's really cool. Love all the various aircraft that fly in there. And again, feel free to check out the plane spotting video if you would like to see all that action, because there's some really great planes. Going into a little bit more detail, of course, we're currently flying through Denver, so of course we're getting these videos as we speak right now, but I also did a day trip back to Denver on January 4, 2023 with Southwestern United. That was a bunch of fun, and expect a video similar to this, because I got some really good footage and photos of the airport ops, and also plane spotting video, because that was the predominant reason of the trip there. So feel free to get ready to check those out as well, because they were fantastic. And yeah, it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. It's a really cool airport. Please go visit if you can. It's really nice from an aviation enthusiast standpoint, and as a general passenger standpoint. It's really nice. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask in the comment section. I will do my best to help you out, or try to get you somebody that can help you out, because I would love to help you answer your question. And it's a huge airport. I mean, it's big. It's in terms of landmass, it is the biggest, but in terms of passenger operations, it is right there with the other airports. So like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a really cool airport. Would love to go back and like see the outside and everything at some point as well, but it's certainly nice. Expect more Denver content to come soon. I hope you guys are excited for it. But with all that being said, that will do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Take it easy, everybody. Stay safe, trust the process, do what you love, and love what you do. My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon, as Redriveraviation is signing off.